Today we're going to be talking about the Nashville numbering system. I love this notation system for worship music specifically, but also just for pop music in general. Specifically because you can move around to different keys and everybody in the band just knows what's going on. So I'm going to actually show you how it works, mainly because there are a lot of videos out there on how it works, but I always get the questions of why it works the way it does. So I'm going to kind of take a very easy music theory approach. We're going to kind of start at some basics and we're going to work our way up to not only how the Nashville numbering system works, but why it's notated the way it is and all of that stuff. So let's get into it. So first of all, you have to understand a little bit of scales, like how scales work. The easiest way that I can explain this is pretty much everybody has heard of do, re, mi. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, right? So I'm just going to write these down so that way I have some sort of reference here that we can look at. I'm going low tech. It's not going to be coming up on the screens or anything. We're going to do this old school way. So I got a whiteboard because I love whiteboards. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Boom. You've seen The Sound of Music, and if you haven't, you probably should. It's a classic. It's important. It's an important piece of musical history as well as musical theory education. So do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. This is our scale, our normal scale. There are tons of different kinds of scales in music theory, but this is the one that pretty much everybody builds stuff off of, especially for pop music. So and worship music. So we're going to be working off of this scale. And when we're talking about scales, each of these is called a scale degree. So do is a scale degree, re is a scale degree, and when we're talking about scale degrees, we're going to be using normal numbers to talk about those, okay? So I'm just going to number these real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then back to 1, right? Because do is do, right? So when we get up to the top, it'll be 1 again. So we've got do, re, mi, our first scale degree, our second scale degree, our third scale degree, fourth, and so on, right? Does that make sense? Hopefully it does, and if you're confused, leave some comments in the comment section because I want to make sure that I answer your questions, if not in the form of a comment reply, maybe in another video coming up soon. So anyway, scale degrees. This is really, really important to understanding the Nashville numbering system because Nashville numbering system is based on chords. If you don't know how this scale works, you're not going to understand how chords work. So the very basic, simple chord that we're going to be talking about is called a triad. It's 3 notes, and it always works by starting on a scale degree, skipping a scale degree, hitting that note, and then skipping one more scale degree and hitting that note. So you end up with 3 notes all together called a triad. So our basic triad that we're going to start with is a 1, 3, 5 triad, okay? So if you were going to play a C major chord, it's going to look a lot like this. A 1, a 3, and a 5. In a C major chord, a C major chord is a C, an E, and a G. That gives us our 1, 3, 5. And that's a triad, okay? You can also build a triad off of other notes in here, right? We could build a triad off of the 4th scale degree, and it would be 4, 6, and 1 at the top, right? So that would be our 4th chord. When we're talking about chords, this is where the Roman numerals come in. So the Nashville numbering system uses Roman numerals because Roman numerals represent chords. Normal numbers, I think these are called Arabic numbers, I think, if I remember right. These represent scale degrees. So we're going to use Roman numerals to talk about chords. And it's because you can have capital and lowercase Roman numerals. And we're going to talk about that in just a second. So I'm going to go ahead and write these Roman numerals down here. 2 chord is built off the 2, the 4, the 6. The 3 chord is built off of the 3, the 5, and the 7. I'll write in the other ones here real quick. It'll go super fast. 5, 6. Thank you for your patience. It will pay off. All right, and then we're back to the 1 chord again. So here we go. This is the nitty gritty. When people always ask, like, so why is the Roman numeral 1? You know, like I can show you how Nashville numbering system works, but the why is really important. I think the why question is always worth answering, and so hopefully this is starting to make more sense for you now. So we've got our 1 chord is built off of the 1, 3, 5. Our 2 chord is built 2, 4, 6. See, if we skip a scale degree and we skip another scale degree, boom. And it's those 3 notes together that makes the 2 chord. Now, people are always asking me when they're first learning how to use the Nashville numbering system, why are some uppercase and why are some lowercase? Well, it turns out that there is kind of a basic rule when you're building chords like this off of a normal major scale, like 99.9% of pop music, your chords are always going to have these qualities. A chord quality means, is it major? Is it minor? Is it diminished? Is it augmented? A chord quality talks about that. And with the capital and lowercase, we can actually delineate or, show which one is major or minor. So if it's an uppercase Roman numeral, it's a major chord. If it's a lowercase Roman numeral, it's a minor chord. Nifty, right? So we can actually tell if we're playing a major or minor chord, or if we should be playing a major or minor chord based on the Roman numeral itself. Now again, this is basic stuff. I'm hoping that, if you already know all this, you've probably skipped ahead. So, but my main hope is that if you're new to this, that you're able to track along at this point. So go ahead and let me know if this is too confusing in the comments section below. All right, so we got our 1, 2, 3 chords. Our 4 chord, can you guess what the notes are that are going to make this chord up? Based off our pattern, I'll give you just a second. You can pause the video if you want. The 4 chord is built off of the 4, 6, and 1. I did mention that before, so maybe you cheated. That's okay. All right, our 5 chord is going to be built off of 5, 7, 2. Obviously it wraps around, right? Once we get to 1 here, we can put a 2 on this side, so we can do the same thing. 5, 7, 2. The 6 chord is built 6, 1, 3. The 7 chord is 7, 2, 4. Okay, now I didn't put this thing in there. I'll go ahead and put it in there right now. I usually don't explain this piece because it doesn't apply a lot in pop music or worship music very often. But the 7 chord, it's a lowercase, but it has this little circle at the top. That means that it's a diminished chord. Diminished kind of sounds like a train whistle, I guess, is the best way to explain it. It's a minor sounding thing, so that's why we give it a lowercase numeral, but it's not technically a minor chord. A minor chord is built off of a minor third and then a major third interval on top of that, kind of superimposed over each other. You got your minor third in the beginning of it and then the major third on the top. A major chord, on the other hand, is major chord first, and then a major third first, and then a minor third superimposed on top of that. A diminished chord is a minor third and then another minor third. So it kind of creates this sort of like tension-y sounding chord. And because of that, it's not necessarily easy on the ear, I guess, for most people. So that's why it doesn't show up a lot in pop music. It just kind of ends up feeling pretty tense and just sort of dissonant. Okay. So anyway, that's why this is a diminished chord, not just a minor chord over here. So is this all making sense so far? Hopefully it is. Let me know if you got any questions. I'm going to be continuing this video series. We're going to start talking about how to apply it in the next video in this series. But hopefully this was helpful for you. Please leave comments if you're confused about something or if I didn't explain something enough, because I want to include that in future versions of this video or whatever. At the very least, answer your comments down below. So thank you so much for hanging out with me guys today. Hopefully this is helpful for you. Hopefully this is helpful for your teams if you're passing this along to your worship teams. And yeah, we'll see you guys sometime soon. Peace.